Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels to short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Oh, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah. Happy Wednesday. Live here on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. Where else are we? Everywhere.
We are everywhere. Live. It's exciting.
Yeah, and where are you coming from today?
I'm coming in live from Palm Desert. So that's for those in California. And there's this really cool place that I'm staying at. I just got here yesterday called the Mojave Resort. This property is awesome. So I'm going to be posting a lot of it. We're as soon as we're done with this live show today, we are filming all day. And it's great. This property actually opened in 1957. So it definitely has those 50s sort of vibes. Mm-hmm. And then about 2 years ago, they closed it to go under renovations. And then this past summer in August, it reopened, and it is so cool. They've got 25 rooms. It totally has that, like, I mean, I don't want to even call it motel, but I mean, like, it's like, but it's like a renovated motel because it's so cool. Grassy area, fire pits, really fun pools, and it's adults only. So, it's like a really cool spot, and it's right here in the heart of Palm Desert. For people that don't know it, I mean, it's a very like upscale area. You've got like Gucci and the likes just down the street. So good stuff. Yeah.
Very nice. I have to check it out. I'm looking at it here on my other screen. It looks really cool.
You are? I was wondering. I was like, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking at it over here. I just wanted to see where you're staying. It's very nice.
Yeah. So you can kind of see a little bit behind me here. Oh my gosh. There we go. So sorry, we've got drones charging up over here, but we've got cool retro sort of feel. You got this logo over here. Oh, look,
big rooms. Look at all your stuff. Fancy.
I happen to be in a bigger room. They've got this, it's cool. And they really play with the fun, like orange color of things. But I do want to say this. I want to give a shout out. And we've talked about this before, I think offline. They've got great hair dryers. So I'm just going to show you their hair dryer. We're going to talk about this. Okay. I feel very strongly about hair dryers.
Let's see. What brand are we using here?
Okay. So I will preface this. I feel very strongly about hair dryers, and I feel like all the women that are joining in and travel will probably agree with me that it is a simple thing that hotels can do to upgrade their offerings, and it doesn't need to be that much more expensive. This is just a simple Conair 1875. It's a newer one, so it's white and it has this rose gold, so it kind of goes with like the feel of this particular property. This is not an expensive hair dryer, and it's great. And it works perfectly fine. There's nothing that irritates. Oh my gosh, wow, I'm really getting, there's nothing that irritates me more than going to a nice property and they have like a hair dryer from the 80s. Like, what are we doing here? Like, guys, upgrade your hair dryer. So shout out to Mojave Resort. They've got great hair dryers, among many other things. But I'm actually debating on starting a series of where I'm rating hair dryers in hotels. So if you guys like that idea, let me know.
Let's see it. I think you just start taking pictures. Hair dryer alert. What we got?
I mean, look, this hair does not dry itself.
Just shower, threw some conditioner in there, good to go. Listen, some other big news.
Yes, other big news.
We have some award winners here.
We do.
I just want to give a shout out to Sarah Dandashy.
Oh my God.
Number 2 out of top 50 International Hospitality Institute social media influencers. Amazing, Sarah. And what else did we get?
Also, congratulations to you, by the way, because you made that list as well.
I was number 9.
9, exactly.
Riding Sarah's coattails to the top.
No. Well deserved on your own. You create amazing content. You inspire me all the time. Like, genuinely, I'll see your post and I'm like, damn, that was good. That was clever or thought-provoking, which is what it should be.
Yes.
Also, the show that we happen to be on for those that are tuning in live, by the way, let us know where you're joining us from. we got number 3, guys. Good Morning Hospitality got number 3
on all podcasts. Yes.
Ooh, hey, Lonnie also got on the list too.
Yeah, Lonnie, you think you broke the top 50, right?
Yep, sure did.
Lonnie got in there at number 50. Welcome to the top 50, Lonnie, and always joining us here live.
Well
Great
deserved.
to see you, man.
Exactly.
So a lot of awards. I love what International Hospitality Institute does. It makes it fun. You know,
Totally.
we say we'll accept the award. We love winning awards. It's always fun to see other people doing good things out there. We appreciate you, Dr. Jeffrey O. and the International Hospitality Institute for always making this fun every year to see what you're going for. And we're going to keep striving to make the top of the list next year. Sarah for number 1.
Oh, Good Morning Hospitality for number 1. Steve, you can be number 1. I'll go. I'll go for number 2.
One step below. Number 5. Just keep bringing me up each year.
Stop. No, but in all seriousness, it is so. It is very nice to have these awards come out because I know not just for ourselves, but speaking on behalf of everybody that's made that list. I mean, the amount of hours and sweat equity that's like put into creating this content, be it shows, interviews, you name it. So to have that recognition, it goes a very, very long way. So thank you. I know on behalf of everybody. I mean, everybody's just really doing great work.
Keep putting it out there. We'll keep showing up here every week, putting in great value to all of you.
Trying to.
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling for all
Woo!
So should we get into it?
Yes. Let's get into it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So there's some interesting trends that are happening in hotels that we are seeing properties doing. And so we're going to talk about 2 sort of bigger brands. The first one we're going to talk about is Choice Hotels. They are shifting their focus to upscale and extended stay properties. This is great. It was interesting. Yep. Oh gosh, I wish I remember now right off the top of my head. Was it it might have even been a Cambria property. But basically I was looking at a specific destination and I found a hotel and then I was like, oh my gosh, that's a Choice Hotel. Very cool. And it was more of an upscale property. So love seeing this. Yeah. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing now, it's interesting because for a long time you thought of Choice Hotels like these really budget entry level properties, which are needed out there. Mm-hmm. But now they've realized like, look, it's the same amount of work and effort to have somebody there. Why not start moving up the chain a little bit into revenue? And I also think, because I've seen it, there's an Econo Lodge, which is one of their brands that was right down the street from me, that a short-term rental operator took it over and made it into like a cool motel and started charging way more. So I think that there's just, people aren't looking for that Econo Lodge and Roadway Inn as much as they used to in the past, is what I'm seeing just on the ground level in my areas. Because now you have the short-term rental Airbnb and VRBO options that you can get at a budget. And so now, all right, am I going to stay at an Econo Lodge that might be a little beat up, or am I going to go get my vacation rental or short-term rental from, a host and stay there? So I think that's really pushing it. And you see it now. Like, all right, we got to push into these extended stay models that are a little higher end because you don't have as much labor. Yeah. So they're taking some of that vacation rental model, saying, all right, you check into the extended stay, you get housekeeping once a week.
Sure.
And that's it. So you have your labor cost down. It becomes more profitable. It's very interesting to see because they're making a big push into that. And we talked about it a couple of months ago where they bought Radisson. So now they're trying to get that brand up there. So they got Cambria and Radisson, and they're doing some interesting things now, which I like seeing.
No, it's great. And, I was having this conversation actually when I spoke at the Travel and Adventure Show 2 weeks ago in Phoenix. So I was on a panel and one of the other panelists who has been to all the countries in the world, obviously avid traveler. And he brought up an interesting point. And I loved hearing this because he is not a hotelier. How sort of more of the economy brands are like making themselves cool. And where you might have individuals that like really wanted to stay in more, maybe like have stayed in a lot of luxury properties for different types of trips. They are totally cool staying in more of an economy brand just because like it's got a cool feel to it. Mm-hmm. So I love that that's also kind of bringing in a new market of individuals just because of like they revamped themselves in the right way.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what they continue doing because, like, even where you're staying, right?
Yeah.
In the past, that would have been, an entry level place, and
Totally.
they made some little twist to it. I didn't check the ADR where you're staying now, if they made it super high end, but there's a whole strip here in Miami where it's like Motel Row. It used to be really seedy and bad, and now it's called the Mimo District, and it's all these vintage motels that they've upgraded, and now it's a really cool place to be. So I think there's a lot of that happening too. So
Totally.
how do you get more and more people into your brand? How do you get more and more people to really grow with you? You have to have those multiple layers.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it in other big hotels too, right? We've talked about Marriott putting in their, apartments and their extended stays, and it's happening more and more. And good morning, Lou. Good to see you.
Oh, good morning, Lou. Great seeing you again. I saw him again this past weekend. 2 weekends in a row. Lou, always good.
I'm curious to see if any one of you out there works at these brands or has stayed in some of these brands. I haven't stayed in a Cambria hotel, but we had to mention one other one that's coming out from Choice is their mainstay suites. It's nearly doubled its footprint since 2019. So adding 68 properties and over 5,500 rooms. So that's a lot of rooms.
That's a lot of
that
rooms
they're adding into this suites extended stay vibe. So it continues pushing.
Exactly. I'm loving seeing it. So speaking of, we're talking about these big brands doing these, it's shifting their focus a little bit. Hyatt, they've launched a new mid-market brand, Hyatt Select. Love that. By the way, shout out to Will in the background. That's like coming up with all the photos here from the articles. Love that. Yeah. Come say hi. Okay. But so Hyatt Hotels has recently unveiled Hyatt Select. So what they're doing with that is they're really trying to target that sort of upper mid-scale market, to kind of attract those cost-conscious travelers. We were just kind of talking about it. And it's cool too, as far as like from the owner standpoint, it's sort of a conversion friendly option with lower operational costs. So, again, it's
same thing.
Yeah.
They see the model, right? It's that mix of this hybrid where, all right, we're going to have the rooms. We're going to make the rooms really nice. We're not going to have that many features in here and not that much staff to keep the cost down. So it's very interesting to see how more and more brands are seeing it. These big brands, Hyatt sees it, Hilton sees it, Choice sees it, Marriott, they're all pushing into this space that's low cost, keeps expenses down. You can charge the revenue. People stay for longer times, and they're more in like suburban markets. So I really see it like as a competition with all the vacation rental and Airbnb and VRBO. So I want to see what our Monday morning crew that talks about short-term rentals says about that and what they think. But that's what I'm seeing here. Very strategically placed.
It's cool. And then also in interesting locations too. They, I love that they've got their Hyatt Studios, their first property in Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah. So we got Kate here. Hold on. Kate just jumped in.
Yeah.
So Kate, I wouldn't ask a question of you, but you said former director of sales at 2 Cambria hotels, hard to penetrate, an unknown brand, but glad to see traction in the market. Also check out the Ascend collection. I will. So what would made it so challenging to break through? Because now Cambria, they're putting in some big dollars. Was it that people just didn't know the brand? They didn't trust the brand? What do you think it was, Kate? And we can come back to it if you're still listening to us. I love that you shared that with us here.
I love this. That's so interesting. So anyway, sorry, I was like trying to like look at her comment and like, I mean, it's a this big shift that we're seeing. But
we said, they got Hyatt Select and then Hyatt Studios, which is again going to be in Mobile, Alabama, and it's really making a push into the upper mid-scale segment.
Totally.
So mid-scale, upper mid-scale, lower mid-scale, not budget anymore. All in this middle ground that people are looking for nice stays on the go.
I know I definitely am seeing that when I'm traveling as well. Just because, and even I've had some clients, they're like, look, we're not going to be in our hotel room necessarily that much. So we obviously want something nice, clean, fresh, but not something that like, we don't need to go crazy with it. So smart move. Totally.
I'm trying to figure out the difference like that. You're going to start getting into things. Like, I don't know what I'm walking into sometimes. So Hyatt Place, I know, like I stayed at once, and then you got Hyatt Select and Hyatt Studios, and then you get their higher end Hyatts like the Andaz and the Grand and all these other things that are going on.
What I've found also is to take into consideration the market and the placement. So interesting, I didn't totally know what I was walking into, for example, with this property, but nearby you've got like an autograph collection. You've got like some nice that are obviously like upscale sort of
Yeah.
properties. So you know that in order to compete with that, there's got to be a level of elevation. Obviously, a very different type of property where you've got probably, let's just say that Autograph Collection has, let's just say it has 200 rooms, give or take. This has 25. So it's very, you can't completely compare it, but it's definitely it's interesting to see. So
I like what they're doing. I like what Hyatt's doing, right? We
Yeah.
talked to them buying the Standard a couple of weeks ago. One of my clients is a Hyatt Andaz, so I see what they're building and helping them with that. So it's really unique on what's going on. But Kate wrote back, so thank you,
I
Kate,
love this. Yeah,
about the Cambria, and she said, I was told it was a storage unit at times because of the modern design and the old mentality of Choice being lower quality. So big game changer for Choice for sure.
Very cool.
No one wants to stay in a storage unit.
No.
I appreciate you sharing that, Kate. Thank you very much.
Love that. Well, why don't we go ahead and switch gears and talk a little bit about what's happening just in the world of travel?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Broader scheme of things. So Flywire acquires Sertifi. This is hot off the press to enhance hospitality payment solutions. So this was like really big, for those that might not know.
Yeah, this is you tell it was a $330 million acquisition.
Yeah.
And they're aiming to expand Flywire's travel footprint into new subsegments, including large-scale branded hotels, luxury hotels, and boutique accommodations. Why do you think they're doing that? What do you think's out there?
It's interesting. I feel like it probably has something to do with the back end as far as like the payment processing. And they're probably trying to do something to like streamline that process. And
I know like Sertifi is big in property management systems. Like I know I've used Sertifi before and things, and they're big in events and catering systems as well. So let's see. I don't know that much about Flywire, but I'm excited to see what they put together here.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely it's good. I mean, again, it comes down to, I mean, they're even kind of talking about it like it's it has to do with like the payment volume. So I think on the back end, I mean, I've worked with a couple of different fintech companies, and it's like anything that when you're talking about like payment processing, it's like fee on top of fee on top of fee on top of fee. And sometimes, the client doesn't necessarily see or know that that's happening, but that is happening in the background.
Let's see. So it says, I'm just reading the quote. The acquisition expected to accelerate the monetization of several $1 billion in payment volume that Sertifi's platform processes annually. So, all right, we'll keep an eye on it. $330 million purchase. There's definitely money to be made in that area.
Ooh,
don't talk about that much, but
what does Christopher have to say here? Sertifi has had substantial performance issues over the past year or so. It was probably ripe for takeover. Yeah.
See, inside users know what's going on. Christopher, thank you for breaking that news live here.
Ooh, thank you. I love that. News for you, by you. Okay, so
is that a FUBU? Did you just do a FUBU quote? Remember FUBU, the brand? For you?
Of course, I was just about to say it, but I didn't want you guys judging me.
I had a FUBU shirt in high school.
I did too.
Damon John. All right. Shark Tank.
Oh my gosh, I totally did. And then I like went to school, and then somebody was like, I don't know, Sarah. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, so I just FUBU'd our.
All right. Well, now we keep doing scary flight news.
I know.
And it's your brand. So
I mean,
you want me to read it so they don't see
Yeah. You read it so I have a little bit of like distance from it.
All right. Well, Delta flight evacuated due to a cabin haze. So a Delta Airlines flight departing from Atlanta experienced smoke in the cabin shortly after takeoff, prompting an emergency landing. All passengers and crew were safely evacuated using emergency slides. Always wanted to go down one of those in a safe way. Okay, not in a bad way. But passengers reported a smoky haze filling the cabin, leading to concerns in the subsequent emergency response. And Delta is conducting, of course, a thorough investigation into what's going on. But that happened. Then I saw just yesterday a Southwest airline flight, great pilots avoiding crashing into a private jet that was crossing the runway at some time. We talked last week about some stuff. So I don't know if this is just always happening and now we're just highlighting this more often now because there's so many flights flying, or if there's really something going on with like the talent level of people working, or there's not enough positions filled. I think we need to do a deep dive into what's going on out there. Investigative reporting. Is
it the talent, or is there something like or glitchy with whatever system?
Conspiracy theorist here.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I will also say this, what I was actually going to say before I like went that direction. That a friend of mine she does a lot of TV as well in the travel space, and she was posting like, oh my gosh, it's so scary. And then she came on and then she like did a repost, and she was like, I want to clarify. Since I did that post, there somebody had reached out to her that works, I think, actually like at the FAA or something, that has definitely insider information. And they were saying that this type of stuff actually happens all the time. It's just getting press right now. So kind of going with what you were just saying, like, has this always been happening and now we're just hearing more of it? Or what? And I don't know if that makes it any better.
Well, you're my expert. You're in the air 100 times a year or more. So if you're not seeing it all the time, then
no, I'm not. I mean, yeah. Look, at the end of the day, it's a big business, and I think at the number one, they're in the business of safety. Yep. Number two, they want to get people there, but number one is safety, and so. It is hard to, isn't that the case with like everything in life, whether it starts getting more press just because it's a hot topic, or also even like the idea of, and this isn't necessarily the case, but like, where you learn something or you like discover a brand or whatever that you had never heard of, and then you see it everywhere. I'm not saying that this is the case, but I don't know.
I think we're maybe focusing, now there's so many eyes on this everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And then the other one that I saw floating around social media this week was the Spirit Airline brawl in Atlanta. Did you see that one with the Spirit Airline logo?
Wait, no, I didn't see this one.
It's my favorite. I wish we got to start getting video on here, Will.
We got to, yeah. Wait.
So we talked about them a couple weeks ago. Spirit Airlines really trying to clean up their act and having a dress code and all this stuff, and then have a gigantic, probably 20-on-20 brawl in the airport in front of the Spirit Airlines sign, waiting to get on board. It's just, I feel bad for all the employees.
Wait, was it two passengers?
No, it was like 20 passengers.
Oh,
full out Royal Rumble in the Spirit Airlines area. So
it's funny because I actually saw it was a really funny post on Instagram where it was basically saying, and you know what airline hasn't had an issue, and enrolled, like it was just like a straight shot, and enrolled a Spirit Airlines plane just right across the frame as it plays. It's like, okay,
they're ready to go.
I know. Yeah, we'll start adding videos to this. I think that
it'll be fun.
You guys let us know if you want to do that.
Time. Well, another news out of the airline industry, ANA's $14 billion aircraft acquisition. So ANA Holdings has placed a significant $14 billion order for 77 aircraft from Airbus, Boeing, and Embraer, reflecting its strategy to accommodate Japan's growing tourism passenger demand. That's a lot of airplanes from a lot of different people, too. So they're spreading it around, making sure not to put all their eggs in one basket. But that's a gigantic order.
Totally. So, and it's obviously, showing that they're really trying to like compete both domestically, because some of those planes are smaller planes, but as well as internationally. Look
at how good Will Slickers is doing back there. Is it going to work to see the fight at Spirit Airlines? I don't know if we should be
now. At least 8 people involved as passengers battled at the gate.
Look at the Spirit
Airlines plane. By the time officers got there, the melee was over.
Get ready for
no word out.
And it goes on and on and on. It's like a 20-minute video.
What were they fighting over? Snacks?
Who knows? People are just not the well-traveled is what I like to say, because it could be anybody, right, at any time. But just come on, everyone, relax. We're all right. We're all going to the same place.
I'd just be really curious, like what started that, like why, like what.
But it was good. Will sounds fine. He's sending us a message. Sorry to distract, but I found it. It's a good
video.
Oh my
God, I love it.
Go watch it, everybody. It's just airline travel is the best.
Mine is not that eventful. Well, we could just say that, but
Yeah.
it is.
I've only seen that one time, but not like that. That was 20 on 20. Royal Rumble from like the WWE days. So anyhow, a lot going on in the air. Be safe, everybody. But we jump into our real-time recap.
Yes, let's do it.
Would you like to start today? You've done a lot of traveling.
Sure. And well, maybe not that much traveling, but I do happen to be in a different location. I think it's only fitting that I do a shout out for the team over here at the Mojave Resort.
Stephen Sinclair just jumped in, who I talked to yesterday. Good to talk to you, Stephen. The internet is trending this. Spirit Airlines, no accidents, just incidents.
Oh my gosh.
I hate hating on Spirit Airlines. I have people and friends that work there. I'm sorry. I love all of you out there.
Yeah, I just think it's wow. It just is crazy.
The pricing brings in different things. Like same thing in hotels. Like I see in our vacation rentals. Like we have some homes that are cheaper and others more expensive. And the cheaper homes, for whatever reason, it always gets destroyed. People don't treat it well. It's just the less well-traveled or classy, maybe. I don't know.
Totally. But can we also stress the fact that they said no accidents? So no accidents so far.
Get your face smashed, but you're going to get there.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Sorry. I cut off your real-time recap.
Oh, my God. No. Real-time recap. Okay, great. Shout out to the team over here at the Mojave Resort. They have been so pleasant from just like in organizing things prior to getting here. We're going to be doing a little bit of pickleball later today. And then a special shout out to Drew over at the front desk. She is fantastic. She came, she took us on a whole tour. You gave us like a welcome drink and just kind of showed us around the property. But it was just like so genuine and sweet. And I just, we always want to say that that is how it should be, but we all know that it isn't always like that. So I think it's always just nice to commend people for showing up that way. So shout out to Drew here at the Mojave Resort. This is actually, I believe, one of Bashar Wali's properties as well. So great spot. I'm loving it so far.
Very nice. Well, I've been saying it now. February is my favorite month in Miami for a lot of reasons, not just the weather and the people, but so many great events. So the Wine and Food Festival here, 24th year. And I got to go to one of the signature events, which was the tribute dinner at the Lowe's Miami Beach Hotel. It's considered like the Oscars of the event. And they had so many celebrity chefs there that all put on a plate. And they honor some fantastic people. But the coolest part, I got to take my dad. And so it's always good to go with my dad. And I used to work at that hotel 4 years ago. And it was just, I get a little emotional because there's so many people coming up to me to say hello and that they miss me. And they were doing it in front of my dad. He's like, man, there's so many people coming up to you. Like they really missed you. It wasn't just like managers, like bussers and stewards and bartenders and all the people that you work with in a hotel. It made me miss working in hotels day to day during that time. Maybe not all the time because we get to do so many fun things, but there's some times where I miss that action. So you never know who you're making an impact on when you're working in hotels. And so if you're a leader listening to this now, which I know we have a lot of leaders doing that, you really have a huge impact on people you don't even realize that you're doing. So thank you to all of those who came up. I'm getting a little emotional talking about it, but it was just awesome to see it in front of my dad, who sent me a note the next day of like, man, it was cool to see how many people you impacted.
Do you have a picture of you and your dad there?
I do have one with Marcus Samuelson. I have not. I'm going to do it. So it's pretty cool.
I was about to say, I think, first of all, we need to see like Daddy Turk. That sounded weird, but you get what I'm saying. But it's cool. I so resonate with that because I've had similar instances with my mom when we get to go different places. But even if I go back, like, for example, the Peninsula Beverly Hills, I haven't worked there since 2011.
Yep.
And still I go in like without fail. I go, everybody at valet knows me. They will still hold my car. They open the door. They're like, what? I mean, it's a whole thing. And it's so meaningful. Actually, when my book came out, I happened to be there working for a client of mine. And I had a bunch of books because I was signing them and shipping them out because I was doing that while I was there for other work. And one of the housekeepers happened to come in and she was like, I remember you from when you worked here. Like, would I be able to have a book? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. Yep. So
I signed 2 books, but that was me and my dad at the awards there. So
I love it.
We had a great time, and it's just fun. Guy Fieri was the host, and just a good time overall with everybody. And you just have like Marcus Samuelson, who's an award-winning chef, and you're just hanging out at this place, and just felt good. And 2 people brought their books to get signed because they knew I was coming, so it was just cool.
Yeah, welcome to that book life.
That
Oh,
was
look
good.
at that. Oh, we got housekeeping happening in the
What's up,
background.
housekeeping?
Hey, go team. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our hospitality quote. We're having we got sentimental today.
I did. It was good, but it really just shows you never really know who you have an impact on, and
It's very true.
they're always watching what's going on. But I don't have the quote in front of me because I just
okay.
put down
Okay. Success seems to be connected to action. Successful people keep moving. They make mistakes, but they don't quit. Conrad Hilton. Love this quote so much. I get into so many, and I'm sure you do also, Steve. I get into so many conversations with people. They're like, well, I don't know. We almost this analysis paralysis. And even recently I've just been seeing stuff like I'll look back. I have typos in my first book. I also did the entire formatting of that book on my own.
crazy because that's so hard.
It's super hard. I had somebody that was referred to me to help format it. I didn't like what they did, so I took matters into my own hands. I even did the graphics. So, and looking back, is it perfect? No, but it was done. And so, and part of me definitely, it kills me because I don't want to say I'm a perfectionist, but I have high standards. And I'm like, oh gosh. But yeah, but then it happened. So again, it's understanding that like mistakes happen, but you just got to keep it moving. And I also say own up to your mistakes.
Yes.
That's a big thing, right?
Yeah. If you did something wrong or treat somebody badly, like we had that happen with our little world recently, and I did that. But I think too, on that thing is to keep moving I got this advice, and so I think a lot of us happen where you get like anxiety, like, oh, I should have done this, or this is going to happen, and my business is slowing down, or that might be going on. It's like taking that anxiety and putting it into action. So that is that extra cold calls. It is the extra messaging. It is the extra meeting, or whatever it might be. How are you going to improve? You can't just sit in that like, I failed. That's what that quote is. Like they keep moving. The successful people keep moving through, keep pushing forward. And that's what it takes if you really want to do it.
Yep. It also all comes down to integrity too. If the integrity is in the right place and you've got it, look, mistakes happen. We're humans. But then it's like you keep it moving and you move forward. Like it's all right. It all ends up working out. So, I love this quote. Ooh,
that was a good one.
Oh,
good ending to the show here.
I know. We started with hair dryers and then we ended with something a little bit more sentimental.
It's getting real,
Yeah. Spirit Airlines made a debut.
We got our first video on here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. So lots of fun stuff.
Yeah. And thank you everyone who joined today. I love seeing all the new faces out here, and everyone who commented. Kate, especially for you, for reporting what you saw at Cambria as we're talking to ours. We got our for us, by us reporters out there. So
Lou for joining us, who, by the way, I think I might have gotten you mixed up with somebody else. So sorry, but always so we love the fact that you join us every week. It makes me so I love it. Love it.
All right. Well, until next week, stay hospitable, everybody. Bang out.
Bye.